Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Evolve Discovery. 2 weeks of excitement, 2 weeks of relearning, 2 weeks of learning, 2 weeks of being challenged. My name is Dr. Joyce Kasapo, and I will be your facilitator tonight as I take the lessons of Evolve Discovery to the next level. The last the last 2 days, you have been dealing with Dr. Nelly Kangwa as she took us on a journey to give us the foundations of Evolve Discovery, and also how you grow as an individual to discover who you are. So tonight we are taking it a notch higher, and we will be talking about career development fundamentals. So without us getting into the session, before we get into the session, please let me know where you are joining from, and let me know how you're feeling this evening as we begin the session. I have been handling career development sessions for a while now, and it's exciting that every session that comes in, every time that I take up this class, there is some new level of information, even for me as a facilitator, that helps me and helps you get to the next level. So tonight, for those that are joining us for the first time, if you're meeting me for the first time, like I mentioned, my name is Dr. Joyce Kasapo, and I will be taking you on a journey to understand the career development fundamentals. If we're not using the word fundamental, we're using the word principles, meaning that in every sphere of your life, even at a family level, at a business level, they are principles that you need to follow in order to get to the next level. So tonight, what we are talking about is career development, and I know there are different groups of you on the core. I know there are some that are seasoned professionals, some that are doing business, the entrepreneurs. There's some that are really students, and they're a mix of you. And I'm hoping that out of the session, we will be able to just position you in a space where you carry something that helps you to move to the next level in this year. All right, so without further ado, I can see people that are joining. Please continue joining. Please continue making your comments, and we'll get to read them on and on as we get on. Who is excited with me tonight? Who is excited with me tonight? Every time I have an opportunity like this, I do not take it lightly, because it helps me get satisfied in who I am. So what I'm doing right now, which is facilitating, is part of my purpose. And as I do this, I really get full satisfaction in doing so. All right, so tonight we are 5 minutes past 7, and I would like us to unpack. And for those that have heard me speak, and for those that are joining today, I have been able to coil what I call the GPS. I coil career development using the GPS analogy, something that I have worked on for the last 5 years, and it keeps on evolving. And tonight, I would like to lecture and teach on career development fundamentals using the GPS analogy. And without further ado, I want to start from this point. Every time that you plan on doing something, right? Every time that you plan on doing something, you think through what you want. All right? Anybody that woke up this morning, you had a thought in mind of how you wanted to look like. So as you can see me right now, I just got home like 15 minutes ago. So I'm still in my office outfit. And so today, when I woke up in the morning, I had a picture in mind of how I wanted to look like today, right? And the previous night, I'm not a person that looks for clothes the very day I'm going to the office. So the previous night, I think through what I want to wear the following day, and I make sure that they're ironed, they're set, and I'm good to go. All right. So the same applies to your career. And I want to say this, when we are talking about career fundamentals, right? Career development fundamentals, I'm not just talking about for people that go to the office like myself, right? So if you have been in the project life design circles for a while, or you're a new person, definitely you will find concepts like the 3 E roots, from the concept from Dr. Akanimo Odon's book, The Graduate Code, which I would encourage each one of you to get a copy. So there are 3 E roots. There is the root of education. There are certain people that just want to be academicians. You just want to learn, 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 learn. All right. People will take that route. And there are people that will be employee, meaning that they'll work for somebody, right? Like currently I'm working for somebody. I'm working for an organization, right? I'm working for Baobab. So what happens is that I am an employee. Then there are those, the other E is the E root, right? Which is the E root of entrepreneurship, right? And where you are starting your own business and so forth. So I just want us to capture the room that this session is not for people like Joyce only that go to the office. And one thing you will note over the years, you'll find that the 3 E roots intertwine themselves in your space. So you'll find that you can be an employee like Joyce and still be studying, right, like myself, and still be doing something which is entrepreneurship related. So sometimes you do not just fall in one stream of a career, but you can be intertwined in the 3 E roots. So I wanted to demystify the point that this session is only for those people that are working like myself. All right, now that we have cleared the air, like I said, for the last 5 years, I've been able to unpack career development using the GPS analogy. Every person I know now that has a smartphone, and any other gadget on your vehicle, you know that for you to get to a certain destination, either if you're using Uber in South Africa or Yango in Zambia, there is a GPS, which is your global positioning system. And I've been able to use the analogy of the global positioning system to try and unpack career development. Okay. One thing you will know is that no career just starts and poof, it's grown. So your career starts from somewhere. For those that are employed, you didn't start out to be a CEO from day one. So there was growth from you either being an officer to being a manager to being a senior manager to being a general manager until you became the CEO. All right. So that process of moving in different stages is called career development. But there are principles that helps you to move from point A of either your business, point A of your career in the corporate, to your destination, which is point B, where you want to be. So career development is very intentional. You really need to plan. You need to be intentional. You just don't wake up and just say, I want to be a CEO. How will you get to being a CEO? And that's something that I would like to unpack tonight. So tonight we are using the GPS analogy to try and understand the principles of career development. And I'm hoping that the principles that I will be able to share tonight will help you to get to the next level of your career in the different fields that you are. So if you are ready for us to start, please in the chat box, please say yes, yes, and we will get started. All right. So if you have your phone and you're not using it for logging onto the score, you can go to your GPS. Thank you so much for those that are agreeing that you are excited and hearing me loud and clearly. So now let's get to the meat of our session tonight. So for those that are not using their phone to join this session, like I'm using my laptop, you can go to your GPS, and I'll be using different elements of the GPS to help you unpack where you're supposed to be. Number one of the key fundamental principles that you require in order for you to grow your career, in order for you to grow your business, in order for you to grow that which you want to do in your life, you first and foremost need to have a destination. So when you go onto your GPS right now, Google Maps, the first thing that you will see there, the app will ask you, where do you want to go? So, the first thing in understanding and growing your career is that you need to know where you want to go. Most of us, why we have failed to push through to the next level of our career, why most of us have failed to push through to the next level of our profession, is that we have not been able to clock in where we want to go. If you are a career person like me, right, and I'll use myself as an example. When you ask me, Joyce, in your HR profession, what is your destination? Meaning, what is the vision that you see yourself in this human resource profession? So I will tell you, my destination, my desired destination is to be a human resource director, or you can call them chief people officer or chief human resource officer. That's the ceiling of my profession. So for me, when I go onto my GPS, I need to understand what my destination is. So, my question to you right now, as we are taking this session, in whatever it is that you are doing currently, what is your destination? If you are running a business, what is your destination? Where do you want to go with that business? Are you just going to be a local, are you just going to be a local champion business person? Are you going to be a local profession? My mentor, Dr. Nelly, says that the local space is crowded. There's so much air, fresh air, and space on the international platform. So, my question to you, as you have gotten onto this 2 weeks program and just taking this few minutes to just unpack a little bit about career development fundamentals, I want you to do a review about yourself with regards to your profession, with regards to your business, with regards to anything that you are putting your hands to. Where do you want to go? Even that NGO, for those that have got NGOs like myself, what is the destination of that NGO? That's number one. Very, very important. If you're going to ever grow in your career, you need to have an end game, an end thought of what you want to do. Number one principle, very, very important. Because I'll tell you something. When you understand where you want to go, even when things are not making sense right now, because of that vision that you have, that foresight of where you want to go, you will definitely have hope. You will definitely going to push. I'll give you an example. Since we're speaking about myself, when I started out my career 16 years ago, I did start out in human resources. I started out as a career retention agent in customer service, right? And by year two of being employed in that role, I knew that's not something I wanted to do in my life. I knew that I wanted to be an HR professional. And at some point, I told myself that I needed to reach the pinnacle of the profession. And that has stood till today as my destination in this profession that I'm currently practicing. So even when I started out as a customer retention agent, because I had a destination in mind of where I wanted to be professionally. Even when I got delayed into getting into HR, I got delayed to getting promoted in certain positions and so forth, I still remained focused. Why we are not focused for most of us in anything that we're doing? Because there's no destination we have in mind of where we want to be. Very, very important. Destination is one of the key career fundamentals, career development fundamentals that you need to have if you're going to get to the next level of your career, your profession, and everything that you are doing. Number two, when you go to your GPS right now, because we are doing a practical session and you can go there so that you don't go, Dr. Joyce, no, you are not telling us the correct things and all those things. We're using just a GPS, common GPS, right? Number two, one thing you will find on your GPS when you are checking is current location, right? So when you go on your GPS, we have said that you'll find destination where the app will ask you, Joyce, where do you want to go? When you clock in where you want to go, there is a positioning on the app which tells you your exact location. I want you to understand that your current location is very, very important, right? Your current location helps you to understand. Remember, when you're on the app, it tells you how the distance between your current location and the destination that you've clocked in. I don't know if that's making sense to you. So when you're on your current location, you are able to tell the distance between the current location and the destination that you have clocked in. Okay? For those that are in Zambia, if I want to go to Kasama, right? And I'm leaving Lusaka, it will show me the destination, the distance between Kasama and Lusaka is 884 kilometers. Why your current location is very important is because it helps you to make what I call self-assessments. Self-assessment. So destination on the GPS is equal to your career vision, where you want to go. Your current location is equal to your self-assessment. And let me quantify why I say that. When you're on your current location and you have clocked in your destination, the GPS is able to tell you, Joyce, for you to go to the northern side of this country, I'm using Zambia as an example, for you to get to Kasama, which is the northern side of this country, it would take you 884 kilometers to get there. That's the distance. So let's start with distance. So the current location and the destination, when you have clocked in the destination, the current location helps you to assess the distance. The distance between where you are at currently and where you have clocked you want to go. Number two, your current location helps you to understand how long it will take you from where you're at right now in your current location to where you want to go. That's number three. Number two. Number three, let's give an example. Number three, your current location helps you to assess how much you will spend in terms of resources, money, remember, money to get to your destination. So now let's unpack it with regards to your career. And I'll use myself as a guinea pig on this platform to try and make you understand these principles. So when you look at a current location is equal to self-assessment. Remember, I told you that my desired destination in my current profession as a human resource profession is to be an HR director. So currently, and let's use now and then, right? Currently, I'm a senior manager, organizational development. So my distance right now from where I am right now to being an HR director, I only have a step. There's just from here where I am currently into a HR director position. Okay? And when you look at me 16 years ago with this same destination, the distance when I was a freshman in employment 16 years ago and the destination that I'd put in to be HR director, there was a huge gap. There was a 16 years gap. That's a long time, people. That's a long time. So why we do self-assessment, let me break it down like this with regards to understanding distance. You see, when I had started employment, I had only 1 year experience in employment, but I had a destination in mind that I wanted to be HR director. So, what self assessment does is that it helps me to understand, Joyce, if you are going to get to being HR director as your destination, in comparison to where you're at right now as a new graduate that has just joined the corporate, there are a few things you need to do. Number one, I will tell you, when I did my first degree, I studied a Bachelor's of Arts in Development Studies. Yes, that degree is generic in a sense and it can push me into HR, but that doesn't make me an expert in HR. Remember, if you're going to reach a ceiling in HR or any other profession at a director level, you need some certain level of expertise, right? That's number one. You need certain level of education. Number two, you need a certain level of you need a certain level of experience in terms of years, right? So as a first year graduate that has just entered the corporate, what I decided to do was I decided to take myself back to school. So I do have a master's in human resource because I knew that when the time comes when I need to be HR director, I will need to have had a master's because it's a requirement to be a director at that level. So that's why current location assessment is very important. Some of us get too frustrated. We want to move quickly to where our vision of our business, our vision of where our career is supposed to be, but we have not done the groundwork now to assess whether we are ready. Imagine me, I've been working for the last 16 years. And these years of experience qualify me to now be an HR director because I've been practicing HR for the last 11 years. So I qualify to fall in that bracket. Whilst I was assessing myself 16 years ago, I decided to go back to school. And I have qualified with my qualifications and certifications to get into that role. I hope this is making sense to you and you are getting value on how you can improve your career. All right. So remember, I also talked about um, the distance. So you are able to tell when you do your self assessment, even at business level, you're able to tell from the destination where I want to go and where I am, I need to put in so much work. I need to put in so much money. For those that get on an Uber or maybe a Yango for those in Zambia, if you're going to go from, let's just assume, if you're going to move from Arcades Shopping Mall to Manda Hill Shopping Mall, which is like maybe 5 minutes, you know the amount of money you will pay is less than when you're moving from Arcades getting into town. So most of us don't do this self-assessment in order to prepare ourselves. And I'll tell you why current location is very important, which is self-assessment, is that it helps you to make informed decisions about what you need to do with your career. I remember a certain man in one of the companies I'd worked for maybe some 4 or 5 years ago. This man had all the experience in terms of years of experience. He had a very good attitude. But one thing that this person had neglected in their growth and in their plan of their career was to upgrade their qualifications. They still had a degree, a first degree, as the highest level of education. And for them to have become a director, they needed to have a master's. So self-assessment is very important, even for a business, even for an NGO, even for anything that you're doing. And I want you to know that these principles, these GPS principles, do apply to anything that you're doing in your life away from your career, as it may be in this program that we're doing tonight. So two principles I've mentioned to you, and we will be getting to the next principle that I would want to share with you. I hope you are enjoying this session as I'm enjoying. I do this almost on a daily basis, even in my current profession as an HR person. I do this that I'm doing tonight almost at every day, and I enjoy doing this all the time. All right, so let's move on. Now, when you have done your current location, you have done your assessment. Remember, current location is equal to self-assessment. We now move after you've done your self-assessment and figured out where you're at. Like me right now, where I am, I have the qualification, I have the experience, and I have the attitude, right? I will tell you I'm good at what I do and I apply myself correctly. So attitude for me hasn't never been an issue, right? But right now, the only thing that I need is an opportunity for the job to show up. I apply for it, and if I like it, if I don't like it, I leave it, right? So the good part about when you reach at the level I've reached in my career is that you're able to even choose roles you can take and roles you can decline. So that time comes, and earlier on in my profession, it wasn't like that. So anything that came, you held it with grace, you were so happy about it and all those things. But sometimes when you grow in your profession, not sometimes, I think always, when you grow in your profession, sometimes you're able to just say, I don't think this is my job and all, right? So right now, I'm in that space where I'm just looking for that my job. You see, even in my current, even in my destination, so let's talk about that. Even if in my destination, there are things I've said how my destination should look like. It's just not any HR director role that I'll pick. Okay, I know what I want to see in that role and so forth. So right now we're just in that I'm in that chill zone. Chill zone. I'm loving what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing currently with my current employers. Top notch. I love what I'm doing, right? But as I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm still in my space of looking out for my destination. And a few opportunities have shown up, and then I go, this is not the destination that I want. So there's that time that comes in your career, and sometimes even, and sometimes also in business. There's certain businesses you can never indulge in. There's certain people you can never partner with, no matter what, when you get at a certain level in your business. So If you agree with me in the things that I'm saying, please say yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right, so we are moving on. So from your career GPS, we're just using your GPS right now. We're just using your GPS. So we're on the next thing on your GPS, right? The next thing on your GPS is route mapping. So you see, when you clock in now, so when you clock in HR director, or let's start with roads. So when you clock in, you want to go to the mall as your destination, and it shows your current location. It will show you different routes, right? It will tell you if you're going to use route A, it will be slower by 2 minutes. If you're going to use route B, it will be faster by 5 minutes. Like this morning, when I stepped out of my house going for work, I was slightly late. I'm an early riser, but I was going somewhere where I needed not to get out of the house early. So if I'm going to leave home, I leave home at 6. I do not enjoy traffic, so I leave home at 6 so that I'm in the office at 6:30. Then I can be there just in the reminiscing on the day and picking up my work as I go. So today I was going for a meeting elsewhere, so I left home late. So what happened is that I had to log into GPS because I wanted to know how I was moving against time. Then, so I had three routes that the GPS shared with me. The one that I was on, so first it gave me an option of where I needed to go, a route that was easier, but with the type of car I had, I knew that that road was not a very good one. So I decided to ignore the first GPS prompt that I was given this morning. Then I went on to the one I knew, but it had traffic. So whilst it had traffic, the GPS voice told me that in 100 meters there's a 7 minutes delay, okay, because of the traffic congestion in that space. So what I'm saying is that, so route planning, route mapping, okay, so we're using GPS and I tell you what it is. Route mapping is equal to career planning. What that entails is that after you do your whole assessment on where you're at, so where I was, my current location as of today, let me use as of today, I was running late. Okay, I was running late, and that's why I clocked in into the GPS. So when you know where you're at in your current location, some of us are completely late with where we wanted to be with our destination. We are extremely late. Some of us have delayed. Some of us are on track. Some of us are doing well, but some of us have delayed. Like today, because I was working on a document, I overran in terms of my time preparation. So I was running late. And that's why I had to clock in the GPS so that I plan how I move. So route mapping, where you get route A, route B, route C. The same applies to your career, the same applies to your business. You really need to plan based on where you are on your current location. Like today, I was late. I was given an option to go a route that would be faster, but it had potholes because I've driven there before, but it had potholes, and the type of car I was using would not be the best, and I would not enjoy that ride. So I had to brave it to get on the road that had slight traffic, and I delayed by 7 minutes, but I knew that the car will be intact and I will not be frustrated in my space. So the same applies to yourself. When you look at your career, there are certain companies you may never work for, certain business partners you will never be part of because of your assessment of where you're at. So right now, where I am, because assessment goes as you progress in the journey of your career. So when you look at my current assessment right now, my current location right now, there's certain organizations I cannot work for. There's certain roles I cannot. Look, I can't go backward. I'm a senior manager, organizational development, with one tier to get into HR director. How is it that I can become going backward to being a manager? Planning. So sometimes, even when you're looking to transition, you need to ask yourself, is this the thing that I've done adding to where I'm supposed to be in my destination of my career? Is this thing that I'm doing able to help me get into my destination? Some of us, why we delay in entering our destination that we have in our minds of our business, in our careers, is that sometimes we do too many things. We are not planning how you're going to move from point A to point B to point C until you get to your destination. Some of us are running businesses like living life today. As long as today it's a morning, I sold 2 bags of millie meal, I sold two plates of food, I sold a bunch of tomatoes, I sold rice. You need to plan. Career development is about planning. You need to plan for your career. You need to plan for your business so that you ask yourself, in quarter 1, what am I doing in my business? In year 1, what am I doing? I had a plan as far back as 16 years ago when I was just a new young profession, even when it was unstructured, but I knew where my destination would be. All right, I hope you are getting value and I hope you have planned. Some of us, I know, when I even start talking about goal setting here, some of us here, we just entered 2026. We didn't even do an assessment of how 2025 was. Because if you do not do an assessment of your 2025, you're not able to know what you did right, what you did wrong, what didn't go well, how are you going to improve, how you spent your money, and what needs to happen. Route mapping. Route mapping is equal to career planning. Always calculate the best route possible. Okay. Even when I was given the shorter route, I knew the route that it was very bumpy. Okay, it will get me to the place faster where I want to go, but it's not going to be a very nice ride. And some of us need to make these bold decisions that the fastest route sometimes, or the let's not use the fastest, the best route sometimes is not the best one to take at that moment. In the moment where I was in a place where I'm going into a very strategic meeting. The last thing I needed was to stress about how I'm driving the car and the route that I'm using to get to my destination. Route mapping is very important. We have a few minutes to go and we will wrap it up in a moment. So let's get to the next level of the GPS. So for those that are following me as I'm teaching and you are on the GPS, the other element of the GPS you will note is that the GPS will show you how long it will take you to get to your destination if you'll be walking, how long it take to your destination if you're going to be driving yourself, how long it would take you to reach your destination if you will be on a bus. So I want you to take note that you need to assess. You remember why I'm saying current location equal to self-assessment is very important, because it helps you to determine even the mode of transport you're going to use. All right, the mode of transport if you're going to use. I'll give you an example. Though the bicycle, you rarely find it on the GPS, but it's there on a few, depending on the terrain where you're at. The system is able to pick that this place uses quite a bit of bicycles, like the eastern side of this nation. I believe on the GPS, the bicycle, I've seen a bicycle before on the GPS. So what I'm saying is that depending on the distance, right? If you notice, like I mentioned, if you notice that your distance is 884 kilometers, like the way it is for you to move from Lusaka to my hometown, right? You can't go to my hometown with a bicycle, right? Because you know the amount of strength you will take days to reach, and the level of work that you put in. Even just walking to walk 884 kilometers to my hometown, you will have blisters on your feet. So, what I'm saying is that when you assess your current location based on where you want to go, it will help you to understand whether you need to be walking to get to your destination, or you need to get on a bus to get to your destination, meaning you need help, right? Or you get on a car, meaning you drive yourself, you're confident, everything is set. Like right now, I would tell you, I'm in my destination to being HR director. Right now, I'm at the level of driving my car. I'm in charge of what's going on. I'm happy with where I am. Everything is good to go. That's very important. Even in your business, if you aim to be making $1 million, you need to change gears. You can't be walking. There's a way you need to start putting proper things in place. There's a way you need to get onto a bus, or a bus represents teamwork, partnerships, mentorships that you require. Some of us, why we are there where we are at right now, because we have been walking alone, solo, slowly, and life is not happening. And you need to get into where you look for a mentor. They help you, they figure out what's going on in your space, and they help you move to the next level. Modes of transport is very important. So for you that are reviewing and assessing your career, please, 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 and please, based on your current location, you'll be able to know what mode of transport you need to do at this point in time in your life, in your career, and I hope that is very clear. All right, I will add two more principles, and I think that will be all for today. And if for those that will be entering into the career mastery stream, you will find me in that space. We'll delve into deep lessons on what we have begun today. So I've got two more principles, and we can call it an evening. All right, so we have spoken about your destination, where you want to go. We have spoken about your current location, which is your self-assessment, where you are right now, and how far are you from your destination. And this is where you do your self-assessment. Then we said after your current location, you need to do route mapping, which is your career planning. And then when you plan, and then you know the modes of transport that you need to do, you need to take on. So the fifth principle of career development, which is very important, is rerouting. Rerouting. Remember, on your GPS, when you log in a location, and as you are driving and as you are on your journey into that destination, there are times that you meet up with detours, right? Either you find there's a roadblock, or when there's traffic, or maybe you took a wrong turn. You hear the GPS voice on the system which says you have taken the wrong route. Recalculate or reroute to your left so that you get back on track. So rerouting is equal to adaptability. If you're going to grow in your career, what needs to happen is that you need to have the ability to adapt. Most of us do not have the resilience and the energy to adapt. There are times that you had planned, right? You have a destination in mind, you have understood your current location, you have planned of where you want to go, and and you have chosen the mode of transport. But there comes a time where the interview you went to didn't go as planned. You are laid off. You got sick. You were retrenched. Your contract ended. Like even COVID, a lot of people lost jobs. There was industry changes. The point is that when something like that hits your life, please and please and please grow a muscle of adaptability. Be able to be flexible to adapt with the situation until you get back on track. Some of us, from the time that we were distracted on our career path or our business, we have felt to come back so that we get to our destination. So, what I'm saying is that in this season where you have chosen to be on this evolve discovery for 2 weeks, my ask to you is that may you grow a muscle of adaptability. Life will not always go as planned. Life will not always go the way it's not a straight line. So you might have a plan, but the plan helps you to remain focused and resilient. But there are times that plans do not go the way we want them to go. So you need to grow the muscle of adaptability. Adaptability. Lastly, but not the least, and I'm not going to take much of your time. Let's talk about adaptability. Let's talk about that and give an example. Remember, I told you that I started out as a customer retention agent, and I knew that I wanted to be in HR. I didn't throw that customer retention agent job and say, look, that's not the job I wanted. There are these professions that I'm seeing nowadays, these young ones that they'll just say me, it's HR or nothing else. And I always tell people, any job that comes your way, please and please and please, just take it. It helps you to get to the next level. Sometimes I spent 5 years. That's a story for another day. Why I spent 5 days in 5 years in customer service, but the level of expertise and experience that I gained in speaking to clients, in mastering customer service skills, etiquette, I would never throw those skills. They're helping who I am right now, even in my HR practice. So what I'm saying is that I may not have started out my career as an HR person, but I was adaptable to the point that I took up this job and I did it for 5 solid years before I could get into my desired profession. Muscle of adaptability. Most people do not have this kind of muscle. They don't. They give up easily. They are frustrated. They're waiting for somebody to pull them out and all. Be resilient. Be things. Life is not easy. Life is not easy. But when you apply yourself, you know where you want to go. You will definitely get there. Lastly, but not the least, as we end for today in this 2 weeks. And if you'll be joining me in the career mastery, then we'll unpack a little bit more on what I'm saying. Lastly, but not the least, is what we call systems updates. So system updates is equal to continuous learning. So you see how when you are going to when you're going to the mall, like for those that are in Zambia right now, so I'm using a Yango. When I'm coming from my home is in Ibex. When I'm moving from Ibex going to Twin Palm, the GPS the GPS system is able to update me at every point I have reached on my journey to the mall. Okay? Meaning that you need to be continuously learning on the journey to your destination. So the system will tell you, now, Joyce, you have reached by Chainda Market. So I'm using the route that I use when I'm going to Twin Palm Mall. So it will show me, Joyce, now you have reached by Twin Palm Mall, by there's Harvest filling station. It's a filling station where you put gas. Then you told me you've reached Chainda Market. Then you have reached Chainda SDA. You have reached Avondale SDA until when I get to Rubies, then I get to the mall. So what I'm saying is that in the journey between where you're at currently right now in your career to where you want to be in your destination, there is continuous learning that happens along the way. There will be updates that are happening to you in the sense as you're learning. Joyce, you'll be delayed by 2 minutes. Joyce, you need to do this so that you reach on time. And you see, giving an example of myself using the HR profession, my system updates, I use the different roles that I have grown in my career space as an HR profession. Remember, I told you I started out as a customer retention agent, and then I moved into a trainee organization development in human resource. Then I became a senior HR officer. I became a manager until where I am right now. Those are system updates that helps me and have helped me to get to where I am today so that I may be ready to get into my destination of my profession. So you need to learn. Some of us, you need to go back to school. Some of us, you need to pick a skill. Some of us, along the way, before we get to our destination, there's a lot of learning that gets to happen along the way that you need to pick up on. So, on that note, because this was just a little bit of a test into what we are doing in Career Mastery. In Career Mastery, we begin to delve deeply by even doing our career self-assessment. I have a tool that helps for you to assess where you're at. It will ask you, interrogate you with questions, and just see where you're at and how you can move from where you're at on your current location and get back onto your trajectory. So for tonight, we are going to end here, and I'm leaving you with these 6 principles, and I'm hoping you have picked 1 or 2 things that will help you this year to be a better person, that will help you this year to evolve into the best version of yourself. So from myself, Dr. Joyce Kasapo, and Given, who has been in the background in the studio to make sure that I'm visible, to make sure that I'm able to see your comments and you're able to see me clearly. It's a lovely evening, and please let's go on to the WhatsApp platform and let's just leave our comments there. Let's leave our questions there. I will have time. If there are any questions there, I'll answer those questions. And also, I know Dr. Nelly will be there to also on standby to answer any questions that you might have on what you have learned so far. So from myself and Given, it's a lovely, lovely evening, and see you on the other side. Bye for now.